Happy and Glorious is a bricks and mortar and online business specialising in gifts, jewellery and products for the home. We also use the space to host occasional art exhibitions for local artists, and in the evenings and on weekends we hold creative workshops which are either run by myself or teachers that I've invited into the space. We are so very privileged to run it all from this beautiful 15th century space. I feel very lucky to come here every day to work. We sell solely British made products, and I think it's really important in this day and age to have a bit of a USP. It's something of a challenge finding British made, but it also helps to create a story and build a collection, which I think is very important. We focus on nature themed products and beautiful colours, and also what I like to think of as heirlooms of the future. Although it is slightly more expensive to buy British, I think the quality that you get for the extra money that you pay is totally worth it, and I do try and keep my products really affordable. I set up Happy and Glorious online in 2012 when I was working full-time in an office job. Previously I'd spent 18 happy years working in independent retail. I knew it was the job for me, I knew it's what I wanted to do with my life, and I felt the time was right to create something for myself. 2012 of course was the year of the London Olympics, and there was a real sense of excitement and optimism in the air, and it was infectious. It was also the year that Mary Portas released her programme on the importance of British manufacturing and the reinvigoration of industry right here in the UK, and it just kind of spoke to me. One Sunday afternoon I came up with the idea for the name Happy and Glorious, and by the end of the day I had placed my first order, I had bought the domain name, set up the social media, applied for a trade show pass. And that's just the way I like to do things. I'm a little bit impetuous. I started to exhibit at country fairs to promote the website, which was a really good start. And then I moved on to pop-up shops, which was a great way to test the high street and get customer feedback, which you can't place enough value on that. After a few weeks in the Porter's pilot town of Ashford in Kent, I was invited to take on a unit for a year. So it was a proper shop. It was a very tiny shop, but it was a proper shop. And I was able to leave my job and go full-time with the business, which is it was such an exciting time. It was a fantastic way to test the water and work with other like-minded business owners, and of course to meet customers. A year later, this shop in Cranbrook came up for rent. I went to school here quite a long time ago, but it really felt like coming home, and it's a decision that I haven't regretted. Happy and Glorious has now been here for 2.5 years, and I'm looking forward to a bright and shiny future. Like most retailers, I attend trade shows, and that's 4 or 5 times a year to find new suppliers. I also use social media as a brilliant tool to find smaller producers that might not yet be on the trade show market, either because they're just not quite there yet, or because they want to keep their business small and more of a cottage industry size. I have some very creative friends who are artists, and they supply me too, and I do a bit of designing and making myself. To me, one of the most important things is to have a shop full of products that you're not going to see everywhere else. I want people to come in and be surprised and delighted by the stock that I have. I support local as much as possible, but as everything's made here in the UK, it's already fairly local. I really feel that I've created a community of creative people, and that my shop is the beating heart of it all. Firstly, I'd say have a business plan. It's one of the most important things when you're setting up your own shop. And if you don't know where you're going, you've got no way of knowing how to get there. But I would also say don't be afraid to be fluid, don't be afraid to go off-piste and look at it again and again, because you might miss out on an opportunity today based on a decision you made 6 months before. I would say network as much as you can, talk passionately to people about your business, and they will respond in kind. And it doesn't have to be the old wearing a suit first thing in the morning breakfast meetings of yore. It can be at the strangest, most random places. Some of the best networking I've done has been at house parties and art gallery openings. It really is finding the right place to do your networking. I would also say never stop learning. I've been in independent retail for 24 years now, and I still don't think that I know everything. The world is changing at such a rapid pace now that it's even more important than ever to keep on top of things and keep learning. So take every opportunity you can. Being organised is very, very, very important. I like an analogue organisation. I use a bullet journal technique, but use whatever you can to keep yourself on track, because you don't want to drop any of those spinning plates. I also have a business coach, and I can't emphasise enough how important that is. He really helps me just clarify everything in my mind, work out what I want, and work out how to get there. It's such a good thing to do, and it's for any aspect of your life, not just running a shop. And lastly, I would say be brave, because it's one of the trickiest things you can do to run a shop, but it's also one of the most rewarding and wonderful. I think independent businesses have got a lot more to offer than big high street chains. When customers come here, they're greeted by the same people every single time. They get to know us, and people will buy from those that they know, like, and trust. They get great customer service. We get to learn about them and have really proper, meaningful conversations with them, which creates a happy and relaxed and caring environment, which you just don't always get in the big high street chains. The variety of product that we offer is so important, and it's really great to have things that you won't find on a supermarket shelf. The product knowledge, of course, is also really valuable. I know the first names and the backgrounds of every single one of my makers. I can pass those stories on to the customers, and that just creates something really special. Because I'm independent, I can also react quickly to trends and current events. I can come up with ideas and implement them quickly. I have no red tape to go through, which means I can change and grow and develop much quicker than a big chain store, meaning that I always offer something fresh and exciting. I think it's really important to support independent business whenever we can, and I'm not just saying that as an independent shop owner. When you support the local shops, you're supporting people directly, who in turn can employ other people from the area, and we can really make ourselves part of a community. Every time you spend £1 in an independent business, between 50 and 70 pence will stay in the local economy, compared to 5 pence when you shop online or out of town. It is a really challenging time on the high street, but to an independent business, every single sale makes such a difference. I think it's also very important to remember that the high street is more than just a place to shop. It's also a place to meet, it's a place where you can build community, and I think it's so important to vote with your feet and vote with your purse and show independents a little bit of love.